Welcome to the show. We're joined by Bruins forward Hudson Morrison immediately after the Bruins beat the Kindersley Klippers in Game 4 to win the Survivor Series. Hudson, first of all, how important was it to win this Game 4 and make sure you didn't have to go back to Kindersley on Thursday?
Well, that's huge. Like, plan was to beat them in 3. Like, we took them 2, and they slipped on by us last night. But the boys had in their mind that we were not going back to Kindersley, so had a good game tonight, and that was the biggest thing.
It seemed like both games here you guys had a lot of really good chances that you didn't score on. Was that kind of in the back of your mind tonight? And, I guess just talk about how important it was to hold them off the board the rest of the way.
Well, yeah, we do get a lot of chances, and we didn't capitalize on a few, but their goalie made some nice saves. And we had probably as many block shots tonight as they had shots, and that was the key to keeping them to 1 goal tonight.
Just talking about some of the key things tonight that you think helped you guys to beat them.
Well, blocking shots is the big thing. We had double digits in there for sure, and just limiting the turnovers and getting it in deep and working them down low. Like, the more we have the puck, less chance they can score. So
you got out to a great start too. I mean, you scored 15 seconds in and then pretty much dominated the entire first period. How important was that?
Oh, that's huge. Like, first shift, we got a goal that just shuts them right down and gets all the boys going. So that was the biggest shift of the game. Got the boys going right from the start, and that's what we needed.
You got Yorkton next, first in the South this year. What do you think you need to do to be able to beat them?
I just got to come out hard and play Bruin hockey, do what we do. Got to have everybody going every night, though. Like, playing 60 minutes and not 15 guys going, but the whole 20. And I think we'll be all right.
All right. Thanks, Hudson.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Beef Bar Bruin Banter TV. We're joined by Bruins forward Dylan Smith. And Dylan, you guys just beat the Kindersley Klippers 4-1 in Game 4 of the Survivor Series to move on to the next round. First of all, what do you think were the big keys for you guys tonight that allowed you to beat them?
I think we just kept it simple. We didn't let them control the pace of the game like we did last game. Tonight we kept it more of our style. We got it low and we cycled them, and we were physical. And I think that's the main thing for us. As long as we play our game, we're going to be fine. We just can't let other teams control how we play games. It's got to be the way we want to play, and I think that's going to be the key for us moving on too.
You guys really it seemed like you played a solid all-around defensive game tonight to try to shut them down and make sure they didn't capitalize on the chances they did get.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. We gotta, when we're good in our own end, it leads to offense to it. We get the puck out of our end quick, and then we can get it down in there and it starts cycling. So when we're limiting stuff in our end, it definitely helps our goalie out and helps our defense out and keeps everyone fresh. I mean, when you're getting cycled on and continually getting beat in your own end, then it wears people down. So when you can keep people fresh and keep your own end really clean, then it helps everything out.
How important, was it to make sure you won this game and, you didn't have to go back to Kindersley for Game 5, especially just not allowing them to get the momentum?
I think it's even more than that. It's moving on to the next series here. I think it was my second year against Melville. We went to overtime 2 out of 5 games and triple overtime once and got into the next series against Yorkton, and we were just dead. We had nothing left. We couldn't play, and they just ran all over us. And I think it's key to be a little bit fresher going into the next series, get a day off here, and everyone get their legs rested, some injuries healed up. I think it's pretty important. If we would have had to go to Kindersley and then come back and go to Yorkton the next day, it would have been tough on a bunch of guys. So I think that was pretty key to win it tonight.
I noticed before the game tonight, Alan May tweeted you some inspiration there, trying to give them the knockout punch. Does something like that inspire you a little bit, knowing what he did for the Bruins and, having him here last weekend for the induction?
Oh, for sure it does. I mean, Alan's he's done great things in the SJHL and moved on to pretty high levels playing the NHL. So you don't get guys like that mentioning you very often. So when you do, it's pretty special. And I think he's rooting for us. So it's nice to know that we have supporters out there. And when he was in town here, I talked to him a bit, and he gave me some advice and just helped me out along the way. So it's nice knowing we have guys like that supporting us for sure.
Good stuff. Thanks, Dylan. Your coach is talking to you here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just give a shout-out to my 2 line mates. Oli and Cote, they're great. I mean, Oli's been great for every time I've played with him. He's the hardest-working guy I've ever played with and just extremely skilled. I couldn't ask for a better line mate than him, that's for sure.
Good stuff. Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome back to the Beef Bar Bruin Banter TV. We're joined by Bruins head coach and GM Keith Cassidy. And Keith, you wanted to talk about NASCAR a little bit and about your favorite driver and how he's doing.
We should rename this segment NASCAR Race Hub or something like that, but I think we might get in trouble with Speed TV. So, no, the NASCAR season started off pretty well so far. They've Daytona, Junior finished second, and then last week in Phoenix he finished fifth. So, and he was challenging for the lead for the most part. So, I've been happy with it so far. I'm excited that racing's back on. I enjoy watching it on a Sunday.
If we start doing a NASCAR segment, you're gonna have to do it without me because I really can't help you at all there.
It's one sport you don't follow very well. I mean, even with being out at the Motor Speedway, you haven't taken an interest in NASCAR at all?
No, not really. Well, but
one hasn't led to the other.
But see, the racing at the Speedway is more exciting, I find. I just cannot get into NASCAR.
Well, I mean, I guess it's an acquired taste. But once you do get into it, it becomes addictive. And I really enjoyed watching it on television. And then a couple of years ago, my sister got me tickets to the Daytona 500 for my birthday, and ever since being down there, it's quite the experience and something I really enjoy.
That's definitely a good way to get into it.
Yep, absolutely.
Moving on, you guys are headed on to the next round in the playoffs. Finished out the Kindersley Klippers on Wednesday night here and won that series in 4 games. First, with how condensed the schedule is right now, I mean, obviously if you play all 5 games in the Survivor Series, it's 5 games in 7 nights or whatever it is, and then obviously we're having to turn right around and play Yorkton. How important was it to finish it in 4?
Well, obviously, you want to be as efficient as you can and conserve energy as you go on. That being said, you want to play at the top of your game the entire time. And like you said, it's a condensed schedule. Had we gone to 5 games, we'd be up in Kindersley tonight. And, so it was worth putting in that extra effort last night to finish it off. It would have been nice to do it on, our first opportunity, but it didn't work out that way. But I thought we had a strong pushback last night and got the job done. And it gives us today to sort of go over a few things and then a pregame skate tomorrow, and then we're off to Yorkton.
What do you think were the big factors in that series, the things you guys did well and the reasons that you were able to beat them?
Well, for the most part, I think we got off to good starts in the games. The Game 3 being the lone exception to that. I think, being able to start quickly and being able to try and back that up for 60 minutes is certainly a key part of things. Our attention to detail on the defensive side of things, I think, gets stronger as we go on. There's still room for improvement. And it's going to have to be a lot sharper here against Yorkton, but all in all, I think we made some good strides against Kindersley.
And I mean, you've certainly had no problem generating offensive chances too. That's got to be a good thing to see.
Well, chances, yes, and from night to night, whether or not we put them in the net has been a different story. But you saw in that first period the other night, we could have easily been up 4-0 as opposed to 1-0, and. But as it goes, Shimko had a great game and stopped a lot of quality chances. I mean, when you're up in shots, I think it was 14-2 at the end of the period, and you got to go away with a 1-1 tie. It's difficult to swallow, but we didn't get down on ourselves. We just went back out there and worked hard, and away we went.
So moving on now, you get to play Shimko's former team, the Yorkton Terriers. They finished first in the South. Obviously, they've got a pretty strong, a deep team all around. What are your impressions of them? From what you've seen from them this year.
Well, obviously they are a very deep team. There's not one area of the game that they excel at incredibly. They just do most things very well. I mean, they're able to roll 4 lines. They're deep. Their team defense is really good. And you know what? They limit opportunities. So, I mean, those are things that we're going to be talking about today, along with watching some film. And, those are things that we have to be ready for when we go into Yorkton tomorrow.
In terms of, positional areas and whatnot, where do you think you match up well with them and maybe, areas where they have the advantage?
Well, I think, obviously, as we have been most of the season, we've been trying to get the puck in deep and playing along the boards because I think we've got the bigger-bodied forwards out there and guys with skill that can play in small areas. Playing behind their D is a key for us. And if there's an area that we can exploit, I think that is it.
Travel, obviously, not as much of an issue in this series. I mean, you're only about 3 hours apart, so that's got to be a nice little perk after playing Kindersley.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a 6-hour trip; it's a 3-hour trip, and we're able to play there tomorrow night and then back here on Saturday, and being able to go back and forth, I think suits both teams better, and certainly the fans, I think, are treated a little bit better that way, and we hope to take advantage of that limited travel.
I know we talked last night about just different areas where you can step it up from the regular season. Who are some players specifically that you think can bring more than they have maybe so far?
Well, I mean, everybody can step it up, and everybody has to step it up in the playoffs. But I'll tell you, I think Tanner Fraze has really stepped up his game lately. We put him on a line with Morrison and Neufeld there, and I think he's really stepped up his game, answered the bell, and we need him to continue on like that. Again, I think that Paslowski, DeRoos, McLaughlin line has really done a job for us. They need to continue with what they've been doing so far. And I'll tell you, Dumaine coming into the lineup last night did a real good job, and we just need everybody to keep stepping up like that. So, I mean, that's what we're looking for.
This might be a bit of an on-the-spot question, but do you think there's an X factor for you guys? One area or one thing that if you do that well, it could be the difference?
Well, special teams is always a key, and if we can kill well and we can continue with the success that we've had on the power play here in the playoffs, I think that's going to be a key. I mean, if you look back over the games we've had with Yorkton, especially the last one here, there was a 2-1 loss in overtime. We were 0 for 5 on the power play that game. I mean, if we can just capitalize on one of those opportunities, that's a different game. So special teams is going to be a big thing in my mind.
All right, we'll see what happens over the next few days. Series starts Friday in Yorkton and back here on Saturday for Game 2.